Hey guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. We are now on part 2 in our Japanese town series. For this part, we will be doing a capsule hotel building with a 7-Eleven Konbini, which is on my back. If you haven't watched the part 1 where we made the town layout, make sure to check that out first. So on the first part, we made the town layout and added plotted lines on the buildings that we will be doing for this series. I decided to make this middle block on the left side of the footbridge, and this is where we will add the capsule hotel. I actually wanted to make the buildings in this town not that high. But since this is a capsule hotel with a small area to work with, I will use 3 floors for this building. On the second level, I added an open balcony, which I will elaborate later once we make the capsule hotel. The left bottom area will be a small 7-Eleven Konbini. I really wanted the convenience store to be in the middle section so it can be accessible from the whole town. Since this is a 7-Eleven, we will be adding the trademark color lines around the store. So I added this flat crown molding and then we will color it green. This is the middle line on the design. Now for the other 2 lines, we will just use the standard square beam and you will need an advanced placement Gamepass to custom place the beams. Color the top line to orange. I wasn't able to color this orange at first, so I changed that, and if you want to save a bit money, don't make the same mistake I did. Then add the bottom line just like the orange top line. As for the 7-Eleven logo, we will just use a plain square painting and resize it smaller so it would fit the middle section. I added another layer of the square beam so the logo would pop out of the lines. There are a lot of 7-Eleven logo decals you can use from the search bar. You can color the back of the painting to green so it would match the logo. And then just add this to the side and the back of our Konbini. As for the store wall color, I will be using a yellowish wall color. I actually used beige instead, and we have a new tile texture which is so cute. I love the skinny tiles. Okay, now let's go inside the store first. The outside is still incomplete, but I want to see the layout on how we can fit the shelves in this Konbini. I'm just going to make a simple storage shelf for the foods and items we will add. So just use a basic cube and resize this. Add 4 oak shelves on each side. You can also use a plank to custom place, but I used this instead in case I wanted to move the shelves. Now color this whole storage shelf to ghost gray. I also added another set of oak shelves on the other side of the base. Okay, this is where it gets a bit exhausting because we are going to add lots of food snacks that we can get. Place a candy bowl and then exit build mode. I bought different types of candy bars, chocolates, and other candy boxes. You can choose which you would like to add. I also added some snacks and noodles from the quick meals. Okay, now we are going to make some custom foods and I'll make the sandwich first. So we need a small cutting board as the container plate of our sandwich. Then use a horizontal wedge and resize this to the size of a sliced sandwich. I'm gonna add square beams in the middle and this will be the filling of our sandwich. So you can create a lot of types depending on your liking. I will be making 3 or 4 different types of sandwich because there are actually a lot more flavors in a Konbini. You can follow along as I make this custom sandwiches or make your own flavors. I'm gonna add a semi-transparent horizontal wedge as the plastic container for the sandwich. So you can place this in the middle of the cutting board using the large grid and then resize this. Now we are going to make a simple onigiri. I'm going to use a convex straight basic shape and again resize this. I'm going to add 2 of this side to side. Since there is a space in the middle. I will be adding another basic cube in the center and again resize to match the height and width. Now we are going to make another type of onigiri. This is a simpler version because we will just color the whole rice part to seaweed nori as this is wrapped as a whole. Next up we are going to be making custom bento meals. We have this frozen meal from the quick meals and I will be adding a round rod in here. I'm actually attempting to make like a tempura bento meal. Next up, we are going to be making a katsu bento meal. I'm going to use the frozen meal again and just add a larger round rod. I actually wanted to use a basic shape for this one, but since I will place the katsu on the frozen meal plate, we cannot place it above. So I used this round rod instead, and here I am trying to make it look like a katsu. Okay, hear me out. Let's just pretend it is a katsu for the sake of this konbini. I'm adding 2 pieces of this katsu in one meal. So you can make lots of custom bento meals. Just grab more frozen meal on the fridge. Now that the custom foods are done, I'm gonna arrange this dry foods on the shelves that we made. We can only fit 2 custom shelf rack in our konbini. So in this side, I will put the instant cup noodles and also some decals that I will just search up. Grab a basic cube and resize this. Then place a tape photograph in front and match the size to the basic cube. I will search at least 3 different flavors of the packet noodles. On the other side, we can add other dry goodies. So I added the cereal box and flour. I hope that the devs can add more grocery items on build mode so we can decorate the convenience store racks, grocery store aisles, or even in the kitchen pantry. I think it would be a great addition, especially for detailed builds and clutters. Like instead of using decals, we have this items in game. Those are the things I actually look forward to in the future updates. I also added the sauces and condiment bottles above since I didn't know what else to add in here. As for the next storage rack, I will be adding the snack section on this side. You can get this beef jerky from the fridge quick meals. I will just add this like some sort of chip style. Let's go to the other side first, because I wanted to add a hygiene section. We cannot forget to add this, since it is a convenience store and a lot of customers would go here since it is close by, instead of going to the grocery or supermarkets. I didn't want to travel to the BFF store to buy the chips, so instead, I will just place boxes of milk on the bottom shelf. But if you have a bit more time, you can go to the BFF store to buy more chips and get them from your fridge. Anyways, we are making a smaller version of the decals for the pocket snacks. I will be adding a lot since I wanted a variety of flavors. Again, you can search for the decals in the free images. I placed the 2 storage racks inside for the meantime, but I will actually move them to the left side because I wanted to add some open windows to make the store less claustrophobic. Anyways, here I am attempting to make a custom food fridge for the sandwiches and bentos that we made earlier. I was trying out something using the transform tool, since this was still new to me after not having to use a transform tool before. I used a basic shape as the base, then added a transparent basic shape for the shelves. I will add as many shelves as possible in one base and then duplicate it later. I wanted to add more flavors in our sandwiches, so here I am spending more money. I will also be moving all the sandwiches on one side of the food fridge. I just closed off the sides, top and bottom part so it would look like a whole fridge. Then we will just add a wall vent on the top and bottom basic shape. Okay, now we can finally add a door in here, and I used my favorite commercial glass door. I will place this door in the middle, so I have to move the counter to the right and replace the left side with the storage racks. I'm gonna be making a custom ATM machine, but if you have the Bloxburg version in game, it looks better. I just don't want to spend my Bloxburg here since I wanted to save some for future. Again, we will be using more basic shapes, and by the time we finish this part 2, the plot data will be shaking because this is only the first building in the whole town. I always have a high data usage because of the things I wanted to add in one store, especially convenience stores or commercial stores that have foods being sold. So if you like to take the risk of using basic shapes just like me, then keep on watching. But if you will just buy the ATM machine that we have for Bloxburg's price, you can skip this part. I moved the ATM machine outside because we are short on space inside the Konbini. As much as I want to add a dining seat inside, this is a small Konbini, so all I can add here is this counter section with the trash bin below. We need to add a counter here for the microwave. So I used this 2 trash bins and then placed a basic shape as the countertop. Then add the microwave of your choice. You can add more clutters on the side, but I just added this tray and also a straw dispenser, which we will recolor to make it a chopstick dispenser instead. I usually color the chopsticks to a dark yellowish-brown shade with wooden texture. As for the trash bin and countertop, we will color this to light stone gray and linen with wood grain texture. I wanted to give it a very light aesthetic minimalist color since the Konbini is a bit of into the modern setting. I will also color the cashier counter the same, but switch the color setting. Now for the windows, I will be using this commercial wide window and resize this to fit the front side of the shop. I will also add windows to the side. That's why I switched the layout of the storage racks and cashier counter. Color the window frame to quill gray and the glass to dark stone gray. The front windows beside the door is smaller, so make sure to resize this just the exact amount that fits in between. Now we are going to add some posters on the windows, and we cannot do that even with advanced placement Gamepass. So we are going to use the delete undo technique that I have been doing for most of my no Gamepass build tutorials. We also did that on the part 1 of this series. I'm using a keyboard on my PC, but if you are on your phone, you can also do it. Thank you for those mobile builders who subscribed to my channel because they confirmed it is possible to use this technique as well on the phone. Anyways, I added another commercial door on the backside. Very convenient for those coming from the back area. And since we have this space left, this is perfect for the commercial fridge. I wanted to make a custom one for the drinks, but it took a lot of my time, so we'll just use this. Now we are going to make a custom cash register. We have 2 types of cash register in-game that costs Bloxburg. But because I don't want to use my Bloxburg for this, since I plan on making more commercial shops in this town, we will just make a custom one. This is how I usually make it using the toy cash register and a photo frame. We still have a few more add-ons to our Konbini, and here I'm using the horizontal plank for the candy and chocolate shelf. Rescale the thickness of the plank so we can fit at least 3 layers on the counter. Then color the shelf to match the counter base. Then place the candy bars and chocolates of your choice in the shelves. I know this will take some time to do, especially rotating it one by one. Moving to the interior walls, so I'm just coloring it to lily white, very clean and basic. Now copy the structural beams we used for the lines outside and place them on this wall by the cashier. We will try to add the 7-Eleven lines to make this less plain. I'm also adding more posters on this wall for like special ads. I will look for some decals on the free images later, but if you have your own decals to use in your store, feel free to use those. I added this flat crown molding to the rest of the wall instead of adding the 7-Eleven line colors because we will only have one accent wall. I used a transparent decal for the center logo. Going to the back side, we are going to be adding the garbage dumpster and more clutters to make this Konbini look busy. Going back inside, sorry guys if I keep jumping from outside and then inside. I suddenly forgot to add something somewhere along the way. For those who have been watching me a few years back, you guys know how clumsy I get. Anyways, I added this exit sign above the doors just to add some detail. As for the lighting, I will just use this industrial ceiling lamp. Make sure to recolor the bulb so it doesn't look too bright inside. Changing the bulb color makes a huge difference on how the build looks like at the end. So I try to add the lighting by the end of the build to see how it matches the inside of the shop or the room. I added a sleek ceiling light in the middle, just to make the store have enough lighting. Although I may recolor some of the lights later once we make the capsule hotel. And if you are still lacking some custom items, here is another custom build which we are going to make a simple food warmer. I say simple because I am also too tired to spend a lot of time making it fully detailed, so just this plain food warmer will do. Make sure to add a placemat since this is where we will place the basic cube and it can be easily duplicated or moved. I'm going to use a lot of basic cubes here and also the transparent one. I'm gonna add some pretend foods in this warmer. I used a lot of this in my Korean town, and so I will just use this again in here. The rolled napkin can be a pretend corn dog. You can also change the color to make it look like a cooked hot dog. Just by changing textures, you can make use of your imaginations as to what you want this to look like. Since we don't have fried chicken, I'm using the seashells as a pretend chicken karuggi. It's what I did with the GS25 convenience store, and just by adding the right color, you can make a pretend crispy chicken. Don't know what else to add, so I just used a small box and resized it to make a mini fried food. It's all about the looks and how you make it look deep fried and crispy. After adding the foods that you like, go ahead and cover the sides and top of the food warmer. I use the straightening iron as food tongs. Color this to dark stone gray. I also added some extra clutters like the rugs by the front and back door, as well as the umbrella stand on the side. I almost forgot to add a magazine section, so I wanted to place it near the cashier counter. And I'm going to use this horizontal desk organizer as the magazine holder. Now that I have a transform tool, I can place the magazines up front. Again, we are going to use basic cube and resize it to the smallest possible. Place the magazines on top and use the transform tool to flip the angle of the magazine. You can also use a decal photo if you like, but I will just stick with the magazines we have in game. Then change the color of the organizer rack to your liking and the 7-Eleven Konbini is done. Now we can finally move on to the capsule hotel. But before that, we will just color the exterior part of the whole building. So I colored this to dark stone gray with vertical wood panel texture. There is this empty space gap in between the 7-Eleven Konbini and the first level of the capsule hotel, so I decided to add a wide pillar and extend it up to the top floor. Use dark stone gray color, but change the texture to slate. Then add another layer of the wide pillar on the side. As for the balcony on the second floor, I colored the walls right now, but I will be changing that later, so don't waste your money on that wall. As for the fence railing, I used this sleek glass railing to match the modern style of the capsule hotel. I added another wide pillar to cover the rest of the empty space in between. So for the entrance door, I will use this double commercial glass door. And since this is a capsule hotel, we need to use an elevator to really make this modern. I just used this stylish elevator because this is the second cheapest that isn't too plain looking. I added a thin clear window on the sides of the door to make it look wider. Then color it dark stone gray to match the exterior dark theme color. I also added a back door for those entering from the parking side. Very accessible for tourists who traveled by car. I'm gonna add a small reception desk on this corner. Don't mind the overhead cabinets at the back because I will delete that since I don't really know the purpose of why I placed that in the first place. so save your money and don't buy that cabinets. Since the desk is open at the front side, I will add a basic cube to cover the front. I will also add basic shapes on the side later. I'm gonna use linen wood grain for the reception desk, but we'll change the color of the front covering to gray instead of brown. I've seen that there are shoe lockers by the lobby area because you will have to leave your shoes before entering the upper levels and bed space. So I used this cubby shelves and then added a basic cube in the middle where I resized it to cover the empty shelf spaces. This is our pretend shoe locker. Then add a structural round rod as the locker handle. We have this corner over here, so I will add a sofa chair here to make a small lobby area. I'm gonna use this new postmodern sofa from the recent update. I love how this looks super comfy and soft. Since the color theme of the exterior is dark gray industrial style, I'm gonna add this textures and colors in this lobby as well. I will recolor the outside part of the elevator to a darker gray since the light didn't match to how the walls look right now. I love the wall accent of the medium gray, so I will be using that as well as the dark gray panel wall around the hotel. I mentioned earlier that I added a side cover on the reception desk, so just copy the color from the front covering. And then add some office clutters of your choice. Now for the lighting. I'm gonna use this traditional pendant light on the reception area. You can change the bulb color so it will not look too bright. I will be adjusting the final lighting later once the whole capsule hotel is done because there might be changes as we add more lights around the building. Don't forget to change the ceiling color to make the lobby less empty looking. Now going to the second level, I wanted this to become the communal area. This is where the customers can stay, work, eat, or chill. We have a balcony area on the corner, so beside that is where I will place the shared kitchen space. I won't be adding a cooking stove here, but we will just have a sink, fridge, microwave, and a coffee machine. We will have a lot of food business around the town so customers can just eat outside or order for takeout and just bring it over here. On this side, I'm gonna add a floating desk, more like window seating with bar stool chairs. I used a horizontal plank and resized it to make the table a bit longer. It's perfect for those who want to have a view outside while seating alone. I'm also adding a large dining table in the middle. Instead of adding different sets of table, I saw some photos of a communal capsule hotel, and they have this huge long table. So why not add one in here? I placed a glass sliding door leading towards the balcony area, which we will go to later. Anyways, back to the small kitchen area. I used this modern counters and colored this the same linen wood grain, just like the reception desk. I wanted the combination of gray accent walls with dark gray wood panel and linen wood grain. I was actually torn in between making this capsule hotel look super plain and white. But because I wanted to go with the modern style, I added dark bold colors with lots of textures. As for the appliances, feel free to color this whichever you like. I left out the items on the counter to be light colored so there would be a contrast. As for the floating desk and the long table, I also made this wooden texture, but instead of coloring it to linen, I will use a darker brown shade, just so it wouldn't camouflage the flooring. Then I colored the chairs to black. In the beginning of coloring this building, I made this wall light, but then having this dark slate gray texture was much better than leaving it plain white. Then add this outdoor tables, and we can fit 2 in this balcony. Going back inside, I'm adding this square clear window on this wall. I wanted a larger window, but I think this one looks better especially when the customers sit here. I changed the ceiling color and texture because the half of the room is not matched, so I will just use this wood texture with linen color. Now add electrical outlets around the room, especially under each seats by the wall. I just added a structural beam in the middle of the long table as a pretend charging socket. Then we are adding this long clear window on this empty wall. I used this instead of the square ones because after the town is complete, this area would have a great view of the food alleyways. I copied the traditional pendant light from the lobby and just placed one in the middle of the long table. As for the rest of the area, we will just use the sleek ceiling light. Before we continue on the 3rd level, I forgot that there's still no roof in our building. So I just used the flat roof and made sure to adjust the width and height to cover the wide pillars in front. Color the roof to dark stone gray as well, and just use a texture that matches the vibe of the hotel. I won't be adding much details on the roof since I'm worried about the plot data if we want to finish the town. For now, I just added this dishwasher and colored it dark gray like a metal electric unit. I also added a water barrel on the other side and again color it dark gray. Finally, on our last floor, because we only have a 4x9 square space, this is going to be a small capsule bedroom. We also have to divide this area for the toilet section. So I decided to just make a 4 capsule bed space, and then the rest will be the toilet and bath. I colored the walls to lily white for now, some may change later. We can only fit 2 toilet cubicles and 2 shower area. I made the whole wall separation for privacy since this is a shared space. And then for the doors, just the cheapest plastic door. Now I separated this 2x2 space from the toilet itself to make it a locker area. The one in the lobby is specific for shoes, so here is the locker for personal bags and clothes. I used a short dresser and added a vertical plank in front to cover the handles. Then add a doorbell as the locker door handle. This is fully functional. If you will change clothes, you can just click on the dresser. I added 3 lockers on each side, which can cater 12 locker spaces in total. Although the capsule bed can only fit 4 persons at a time. I just placed a chair beside the locker and also a floating desk for customers to use for hair dryers. I'm gonna add some horizontal windows above for ventilation purposes. There's really no one who can peek from this area since it is way high. I also added a smaller window on the cubicles that is by the end wall. As for this small landing space, I just colored the walls the same dark gray and medium gray accent walls from the floors below. I also changed the one from the locker area side. I will use the same flooring from the rest of the floors using this linen wood panel. Moving on to the capsule bedroom, divided this room that fits a single bed for each wall. I'm using the standard single bed and make sure to change the pillow and color the beddings first before we duplicate this later. This bed is actually poking out from the end wall, so we have to move the bed more to the center wall so it isn't seen from outside. Do this to the other bed as well. Since this is a capsule hotel, your bed is your room. I'm just gonna add an oak shelf above the bed where you can place your phone and small items. We have an electrical outlet under the shelf and then a small plant for decor. This will be the basic setup for all the capsule bedroom. For the beds above, we will add a basic shape in the middle using the transform tool. If you don't have a transform tool Gamepass, you can use the carpet hack by placing the bed on top of the carpet and then remove it after. Now resize the basic shape to fill the middle section where we will place the beds. Make sure to adjust the bed placement where it won't poke out to the side walls. I duplicated the basic shape I placed in the middle before resizing it, so we won't have to remake this later on the other side. Then just copy the rest of the shelf and electrical outlet to the bed spaces above. I'm gonna add another layer of basic cube under the bottom bed, so there would be no space once we added the windows. Now close this with the same wall to match the separations. We are adding this plain octagon window opening and resize this to fit a 1 square tile. Once you place the fitted window opening, color the middle part to linen wood texture, and then you can duplicate and add this to the rest of the bed space. To make a short ladder for customers who are staying above, we will use a square beam and rescale this to look like a short stepping board. Color the board to oyster with plastic texture. And then add this like a ladder going up. Place a step board by the window as well. Since the basic setup of the capsule beds are complete, you can just copy this to the other side as well. A large round window on the bed space wall. I think it looks so cute having this. Don't forget to add a curtain door for each capsule bed. I'm using a privacy blind and color this to white. Place in every capsule door. I also copied the small horizontal window from the toilet and placed this on the capsule beds that are facing the front side of the building. Let's continue the rest of the exterior building, and I just added the wide pillars on the side of the Konbini. Color this the same as the front pillars. On the left side of the building, I'm just gonna add this large pipeline, just to add some details and not make this wall too empty. I'm gonna add a custom AC unit using basic cube placed on a shelf. So just resize the basic shape and make it look like an air conditioner. Then add a round decal on the side. You can just search this in the free images. Place the AC unit on the top of the pipeline and color the basic shape to light gray with stain texture. Color the shelf as well to metal gray. Now we can just duplicate this around the building. Also add a pipeline underneath the AC unit for more detailed look. I copied the vending machine we made from part 1, and you can just change the decals of this machine later so it would look different. I'm also gonna add the robust crown molding around the building in each floor, just to add some textures. I forgot to add windows on the 3rd floor, so I just copied this large clear window. The capsule bedroom is a bit too plain, so I just added this small ottoman chair by the window, and we are done. So this is part 2 in our Japanese town series. We made the capsule hotel with a 7-Eleven Konbini. Our town is now costing over $243,000 already. So this is how the town looks like zoomed out. Let me show you guys the closer look of what we accomplished today. I love how this turned out even though the Konbini was expensive. I think most of the plot data increase was in this small store because of all the basic cubes I used. So this is the front area. We have an umbrella stand by the door and also an outdoor seating or waiting area. Going to the side, we have the ATM machine that we custom made. I love how this turned out. This is the back side of the 7-Eleven. I added lots of posters on the wall which looked great. We also have a 4-car parking area in here. You can enter from the back, but I wanted to show you guys the front view from the store. So this is how it looks like once you enter. You can see the whole store since it's just a small 7-Eleven. On this aisle, we have the instant noodles and cup noodles. I wish we could have other flavors of cup noodles. At the back side is the sauce bottles, spreads, dry goodies. Then in here we have the snacks area, chips, and milk boxes. On the back is the hygiene products, toilet needs like tissue rolls. This is the back entrance if you will enter from the parking area. We have the drinks fridge on the left and then the food fridge, which is my favorite area in this 7-Eleven. I love how the sandwiches, rice, and bento meals turned out. In the middle is the cashier counter. I forgot to add a chair for the staff, so if you like, you can add one. We have the candy bars and chocolates displayed in front. This took a lot of my time placing one by one. We also have the magazines in here, which is super cute addition. I wasn't able to fit a dining seat inside because of the small space. But glad that we have a self-service area with microwave here. So this is where the customers would place the items and pay up. I also love the custom food warmer we made. Looks so cute. Anyways, that is our 7-Eleven Konbini. Now let's go to the Capsule Hotel. So this is the front side of the building. I love how the round window from the bedroom looks like. So I just made a decal for the Capsule Hotel, which I will include in the description box if you also like to use it. So this is the reception area. We have the floor directory as posted on the side. We have a seating area at the back for waiting customers. This is how the reception looks like, very simple and modern. Once the customers paid for their capsule room, they will be given a shoe locker space to leave their shoes before going upstairs. We are now on the second level, which is the communal area for checked-in guests. I also added the floor directory so customers would know, even though this is just a small capsule hotel. We have a long table in the middle and a shared kitchen which you can use. No cooking stove since you cannot cook inside, but there will be a lot of food businesses around the town. This one is my favorite. If I will stay here, I would sit by the window. Right now there's nothing to see outside, but once the town is complete, we will have a very nice view over here. We also have more dining seats on the balcony if you prefer fresh air and an open view of the town. Let's go to the third and last level of this building. So here we have the shared toilet and bath and the bedroom. I use sliding doors for both rooms. As you enter, this is a small area for the lockers for personal belongings. I also added a seating area and a small desk for prepping your small hygiene products or toiletries. Then we have the washing area, as well as the whole toilet and bath. Very simple and plain, I didn't add much in here. We have 2 shower area and 2 toilet cubicles. I didn't add a large mirror on this wall, since we have a long mirror by the washing area. Now going to the capsule bedroom, this is how it turned out. I actually love how cute and small this is. I added a small ottoman in the middle for casual seating, although you probably would just stay in your own capsule. I love the large round window because it looks cute from outside. We will have a nice view once the town is finished. Anyway, this is how it looks like when you enter your own capsule room. Really feels claustrophobic inside. But that is pretty much it. You have a shelf and a charging outlet. Basically your whole room in a capsule. This is the upper capsule room with a window on the side. You can see the view from here as well. When you enter your capsule room, just close off the blinds like a rolled door for privacy. That is the whole capsule hotel building. There is also a back entrance from the parking area if you are from this side of the town. So yeah, that is the end of the tour for our part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach a milestone of 10,000 subs before summer starts. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next videos.